What's up, y'all? It's your girl Rainy Storm checking in for the Venus and Leo retrograde. I'm actually recording this as Venus has transited in station retrograde in Leo. Big energy, happy Leo season to my Leos. We have arrived. I'm August, but we have arrived. So just know that when August comes throughout the duration of all of August, yeah, it's my birthday month, so yeah, we're gonna be turning up for that 131. Okay, so let's get it started. I'm gonna basically talk a little bit about Venus and Leo, and then kind of go over what it's gonna look like for each rising sign. So yeah, I think also too, I did the video live last time. I was wondering too if y'all wanted me to keep it live, like do the live thing and not kind of jump in the chat with y'all, or do y'all just want me to drop videos, you know? And then also too, I don't know if I mentioned it on the last one. I might have mentioned it on the last one. No, I probably put it in the comments on the last one. If there's any kind of videos that y'all want me, or any type of things that y'all want me to like go over, you know, any topics and things like that you want me to go over on this channel, please let me know. I'm definitely doing transit videos right now, but I'm also going to start going over like different astrological placements and things, and just other things that we haven't covered previously. So if there's any like specific topics that you want to talk about, if there any specific topics that you like, whatever, just drop it in the comments and I will try my best to get those videos out for y'all. Okay, so Venus and Leo. So Venus and Leo itself, and then just going into this retrograde period. Venus, we talk about these partnerships. We talk about business partnerships and relationships. I also think of Venus as the mirror, right? Because it's like the beauty. So it's people that actually mirror you as well. This is what we talk about: money gains, material gains as well too. Is what you value. It is your pleasure, how you socialize, what you relate to. And also too, I know we talk about our Venus sign as like, what we talk about our Venus sign as us, but Venus is actually the attractor, while Mars is the way you go about getting whatever it is that you're trying to get. So Venus draws in. So you probably could find yourself, whatever Venus sign that you have, you probably draw in people. They don't necessarily have to be that sign, but they might draw in that kind of specific energy. And then your Mars is actually how you go about, like, for example, if you was like, you know, you saw somebody at an event or something like that, and, you know, you wanted to talk to them or something like that. Your Mars is like, ooh, let me see how I could slide in, you know what I'm saying? So it's, you know what I'm saying? No, Venus is more so, like I said, it's more of an attractor. It's not the energy. It's not to say that that's not the energy that you embody, because of course what you attract is what obviously sometimes, most of the time, you have within yourself. But I'm just saying, like, this is what's coming to you, right? So that's the Venusian energy that we have. And it's also ruled by, or it rules Taurus and Libra. So even though Venus is going into Libra, you want to kind of see where Taurus is in your chart, and you want to see where Libra is in your chart, because it's going to have a huge effect on those houses as well, as Venus is retrograding in Leo. Okay, and also let's just remember that Jupiter isn't also, even though it's a fixed Earth, it's in Taurus as well, so it's going to expand on these Venusian things as well, a little bit over excess to some degree, so just keep that in mind. And it's also how you express your desires. So just like I said, keep all that in mind. Now, Leo rules our vitality. It's the sun, you know. This is like the childlike energy that you can experience. I like to think of Leo as the inner child. It's the ego self, but then it's also the self that we go to like really embody and learn the lessons from and things like that. So your sun, essentially, when we talk about your sun sign is really what you like, kind of like the lessons in this lifetime that you're learning throughout this incarnation. Your rising sign is usually the energy that you are trying to overall embody. That is what the rising sign is. And then the moon is more so how you relate to not only your karmic past and past lives, but it's also the energy, like your emotional state and how you kind of move through those. So Just keep that in mind as well. Courage, confidence, purpose, creative endeavors, flirtation. This also has to do with sex, romance, leisure time, dating, and children. I don't know if I mentioned that, but there. So some of the things that I put down for this Venus and a Leo retrograde is, oh my motherfucking God, the drama. The drama. And I've been telling everybody this, and I'm going to say it again. This summer, being the drama is different from being a part of the drama. Y'all know how I mentioned, if you saw my video when I did the nodal shift with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, this is the energy where you can either be the main character in the script, and just being the main character in the script is the drama of it all because you're the main character of this particular script, or you could be on the sidelines. No shade to people that play side roles, you know, and things like that, but you can be on the sideline stirring the pot, you know, mixing up the drama and things like that, and actually not really having any lines. No lines. Like, crazy you say that, you know. So are you going to choose to walk in a room and just be the drama by your presence without having to say, or are you going to come into the room and be mixing up the drama? You decide. Only you can decide, sweetie. Only you can prevent forest fires. Okay. All right. So and because Venus rules relationships, of course, you know, we've been talking about and just collectively talking about like the relationships. It's kind of like Mercury retrograde, more, but you know, Mercury's more communication based. Venus is like long-term partnerships and things like that. Whereas the 5th house of Leo is like when you first meet somebody and y'all start flirting and y'all get to know each other and you start dating and things like that. But Venus is like long-term. So you might definitely see romantic partners come back, or people that you've had intimate connections with. But I would also even say that your childlike nature, your childlike spirit might start to spring forth, and you might have to actually find yourself addressing things that happened throughout your childhood during this time as well, as you are tapping back into the things that you really loved and the things that made your inner child smile, and you know what I'm saying, and things like that. Like, your spirit is going to want to also recoil and go back into like, wow, I missed you, inner child. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I put you on the back burner, baby, but I'm back and I heard you. You know, if this is a period in time, I would definitely say get real creative with your inner child, especially because the Leo is a creative sign. So it's like you can find yourself singing at this time. You can find yourself writing. You can find yourself painting. You can find yourself on a stage somewhere performing. Anything to really reconnect with this inner child spirit that is like residing in you. I would definitely say to take that time to do it, because it's the time, baby. And it ain't no more running away from it. This is going to be transiting from July 22nd. I don't think I mentioned that. From July 22nd to September 3rd. So we got time, cuz. Okay. And it's going to be just an energy of like having to, I think, just make a clear, I won't even say a clear, but just really just giving yourself that time with yourself and that baby in you. Even though I know it's like the whole baby, but that child in you, to really see that child for who it is and where it's been and how it's gotten to the place it's gotten here, giving the baby a pat on the back, giving the baby love and hugs, and letting that baby know like, hey, we made it. You know what I mean? It might have been rough along the process. We might have had to go through a few bumps in the road, but we made it. And now if you actually allow yourself the opportunity to see, to really, really, really see the lessons that you needed to learn and move forth in those things to clear it, I think that this Venus in retrograde period can be very abundant in ways of just finding that peace, that pureness and that peace, for sure. I said, is we moving on, or is we doubling back? Like, what are we doing with this Venus and Leo here? And I think that's up for the eye of the beholder. I think that's up for, it's really up to you and what it is that you feel like you want to do, need to do, gotta do. You know, if you feel like moving, doubling back, and this, like I said, this has to do, it's not just romantic relationships, it's just all your relationships. And I think romance or intimacy, which honestly, let me ask this question to y'all, because I had conversations with people about this, and I just want to know specifically what y'all think. I know that romance and intimacy are two different things, but they're like, I've had conversations with people and we've talked about, like, do you feel like romance and intimacy are one and the same? Like, can you experience romance with your friends? Or are those things two separate? Do you think it's mutually exclusive for just the person that you are intimately getting to know on this different level? Or do you think that romance is completely different than the relationships that you have with your friends? And that's up to the beholder too. Like, ain't no right or wrong answer here. I would love to know, you know, what y'all feel and what y'all think about that, because I've had some interesting conversations. Some people, yeah. So y'all let me know. I would love to discuss. So what I mean about when we moving on, or what I mean about is we moving on or is we doubling back, is this retrograde period is going to make you take a look back, regardless if you want to or not. It's going to make you take a hard look back, and you have to ask yourself the question: is this something that I want to move forward with, or is it something that I need to walk away from? So I put it, assessing if the relationships are working on, and these goes for all relationships around you. Are the relationships around you aiding to your growth, or are they dragging you into the mud? Are they dragging you into the literal ground? For real. And you know this. You know, you can feel, okay, exactly what's going on when it comes to your relationships. I would say if you don't, and you kind of second guessing it, first, that's already giving you what you need. If you second guessing relationships, you probably want to ask yourself a little bit deeper. Why am I second guessing this relationship? Is it due to my insecurities, or is there something here that I really do need to address? But pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to how your stomach feels. Pay attention to how your body responds to people when they are around. Pay attention to how your body responds to situations when certain people and things are going on. It will tell you everything. I promise you, everything that you need to know. Okay? All right. Looks. I put keep it cute until after the retrograde. So, with that being said, because Venus does also rule vanity and it rules beauty as well. If you want to experiment with the look behind the scenes until September 5th, by all means do so. But I think because this is such a hot summer, like a real inflamed summer, there might be a little implosion on the horizon, and people might go and do stuff that they wouldn't have done if they were probably like in their right mind. And so you just want to hold off on doing any like major, you know, changes or anything like that when it comes to like your outward appearance, and just keep it cute. Like I said, that's not to say if you do change or whatever, it's not going to be cute. I'm just saying, like, just keep it cute until you really take this time to have until after, a little bit after September 5th, okay? Or September 3rd, okay? Because you don't want to make a rash decision and be like, why the fuck did I give myself that bang, yang, 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 and this shit is ugly as hell. You see what I'm saying? You just don't want to do that to yourself. We don't want you to do it. I don't want you to do it, you know? And then also, too, funds. I said be careful with overspending. We have, like I said, Venus is in Leo, right? And this is like, as much as people want to say, oh, Leo, selfish, no, it's very generous. It gives a lot. There is North Node in Aries, which can be impulsive when it comes to buying and spending. The U.S., especially if in the U.S., is a Sag rising. So Aries would be playing out in that 5th house. So gambling, this is the Leo house. So gambling, anything that has to do with, like, you know, flirtation. Somebody had just keyed me in that there was like a syphilis outbreak. I know it's TMI. And no shade to anybody that got any like contractuals or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, you just want to be careful of like overly indulging in certain things, you know, because it's gonna snap that thing back, is all I'm saying. Jupiter is also in Taurus, so the spending and the expenditures, you could find yourself wanting to spend more. That's not to say that you can't. It's just to maybe just you know, keep maybe a better budget, or keep like if it's not a budget, then just, you know, follow the bread, see where the bread's going to, what you spending the most time and energy and funds and all that kind of thing on, and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna go ahead and get into the rising signs. I'm gonna keep these short and sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna keep these short and sweet. But if you want a personal reading with me, I don't even think I did my intro today. What is going on? Oh my god. Anyway, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can hit me up at araignystorm.wix.com, and I also have a link tree as well, and probably make it a little bit easier, but it's linktree/araignystorm. And then to book a reading is in those links as well if you would like a personal. So yeah, now let me see what we got. Aries, first house. This has to do with your romantic relationships and romantic partnerships. You are probably going to be reviewing some of the romantic relationships and partnerships. I would say not partnerships, but romantic relationships that you feel yourself usually gravitating to, and why that is. Heavy on the romantic relationships or love interests and things that you might have. You might even start, or maybe think about starting behind the scenes some type of creative pursuit or creative endeavor. It might be working on some type of new project, or searching to work, you know, or having some type of new project or something like that on the horizon. I put pregnancy, but pregnancy, it could be a couple of things. You could either find out somebody is pregnant, like somebody's actually pregnant in your sphere, or like I said, you could be pregnant more so of creating some type of, or launching some type of new idea in collaboration with, you know, a group, or breaking off from a group and going solo in whatever endeavors you have. Also, there could be like people from the past returning. They might not necessarily be your ex, but they could be an ex, or they could be just somebody that you dealt with in the past, and maybe the situation, that was the first thing that came to mind, the situation or the thing didn't really even go nowhere. So maybe, you know, I'm not saying that you get with that person, but maybe y'all hashing things out, or whatever the case may be. Now, Taurus is in the 4th house, so changes in the home. This could be changing to a new home. Childhood traumas could be resurfacing and things like that. So it's something that needs to be cleared. And just find yourself being creative in a home. You might find yourself redecorating your home. You might find yourself just kind of being in this space of like, you know, I just see somebody with like a paintbrush, or hanging up, or like, you know, putting the fixtures and stuff like that on the wall and stuff like that. Cooking. You might find yourself like making like meals in the home and stuff like that, and getting back to like, you know, finding foods that you like and making them and things like that. I could see somebody baking cookies. I don't know, just being like really in the spirit and stuff like that. Now, Gemini in the 3rd house, communications from siblings, or Gemini, this will be transiting your 3rd house. So communication from siblings, writing things down. So getting things out of that mercurial head, because you might find with Aries here, there might be a lot of like whirling, you know, heated energy that you like, I just need to get this out. I just need to get this out. So if you ain't got a studio close, if you're in music, if you do some type of music, if you do some type of healing work as well, maybe you've been interested in going to go see like maybe like a body work, you know, healer, or something that has to do with like mental, you know, because Aries rules the head. So maybe like this has to do with maybe going to get therapy, or just something that has to do with the mind. Like I said, could come down in this, or maybe you even travel to a place that you were before. Maybe you go back to a place that you traveled to in the past. You could also do that too with this Venus in retrograde. And maybe it's a place that you like visited when you were a child or something like that. That could be coming up for you. Now, Cancer, this will be happening in your 2nd house. So your values and self-worth. I said spend time with children. So if you have like people in your family or children that you're close to, that you love, I feel like the kids are going to give you a lot of messages during this time. But if you know, don't have any like family or familial kids or anything like that, I just say get creative, get playful, and tap in. because I think, especially with Chiron, is going to be retrograding in Aries as well. The North Node is in Aries. So your value is going to be going under, like, just reconstruction. So when you come out through this transit, and that will be until December 23rd. So for the better half of the rest of this year, for real, you'll be getting into, like, okay, what makes me valuable? Or what are my values? What are my morals? What are the things, like, my principles and the things that I, like, abide, you know, and follow by and things like that. I gotta keep showing this for y'all because it is me, it is I, baby. Anyway, next, Leo, this is gonna be happening in your first house. So your perception of yourself will be changing and shifting. How do you want to present yourself moving forward? Your sense of personal style might even undergoing like a switch to over this period in time. And it might not just be for Venus and Leo, but this Aries energy too, with the North Node in Aries. You could just find yourself wanting to, like, switch up the way you dress, switch up the way you kind of, like, put out, you know. You might find yourself maybe wanting, I don't know why I'm seeing somebody, like, wanting to get pieces from different places or different countries, or, like, doing, like, a lot of online, like, shopping to, like, maybe get their wardrobe together and things like that. I don't know. I feel like this for you can be very youthful, or you can be, like, really revisiting a lot of things that have shaped you into the person that you are today as well. Like, you could just be finding yourself, like, going back in time, way back. Or you could see that maybe there's, like, people in your life, maybe that come into your life that mirror things back to you, that are like, oh wow, like, that was me at that age, you know what I mean? So definitely pay attention to the messages there. Now, Virgo in the 12th house. Virgo, this will be happening in your 12th house. Okay, shout out to my Virgos. Some professional psychological undoing could be happening at this time. You could be shifting and assessing your long-term visions and plans and goals and stuff like that. I would just say, just try not to overwork yourself, because we do have stuff coming in pretty hot, you know. So just try not to, like, overwork. I know it's easier said than done, but just try not to, like, overwork yourself and things like that. Just take some time, maybe get you some lavender tea or something like that, and just calm, you know, do some, like, calming rituals, do some breath work and things like that, do some dream work as well, because this is happening in that 12th house as well. You might find yourself having childlike dreams, or dreams of either your childhood or dreams of the past as a child, or things where there might be children coming into your dreams. There might be young messengers in your dreams and things like that. So you definitely want to pay attention to those as well. Now, Libra will be transiting your 11th house, this particular Venus retrograde. So your group associations might be shifting at this time. The people that you used to once associate might be completely different. You might just find yourself a little bit more like, there might be less of a focus, I would say, because, no, well, Saturn isn't there just yet, but it will be. You'll probably be assessing your long-term goals and visions and things like that. That'll probably come into play, because, like, it is transiting that 11th house and stuff. So you just might find yourself, like, reviewing, like, the things that you've done, the things that you made, the things that you created up until this point, with the people that you have associated with, and you might find yourself asking why that you've done those things. And maybe you just, like I said, this Venus and Leo retrograde is going to take you back in time to, like, that childlike energy. So maybe start from the childhood, and then why you might be playing some things out in this particular time period in your life, in the ways in which you do. Okay, Scorpio in the 10th house. We have career, public standing, relationship to others. So I feel like with Leo going through, Jupiter's in Taurus in that 7th house. Leo is going through the Chiron in Aries and Chiron in Aries and North Node in Aries is going through the 6th. And then you have Leo going through this 10th house. So I just feel like not only your career, but the relationships that you've had through your career is something that you might be going over and assessing and things like that. Or the things that you did in terms of like work and things like that. And the people maybe that you've met around work and stuff is going to be probably undergoing a few changes. You could be looking for a new job. You could be looking for a new career as something to more so invest in and things like that long term versus like, you know. I think also too with Venus and Leo here, I think because naturally you want to have fun when it comes to your career field with Venus in Leo, just period, especially just transiting this house. But I think retrograde is just kind of gonna want to make you go a little bit more, maybe just be a little bit more low key, but it's totally up to you. But like I said, I know that that part of your life, which is like I said, the 10th house, the Capricorn house, is going to be doing a little dancing shift and things like that, especially like I said in terms of that career. Now Sag, this is going to be happening in your 9th house. I put what you studying behind the scenes, like what you tapping into behind the scenes, Sag, with that what you call it, with this Venus and Leo going through that 9th house. You could probably be picking up like old books or something like that, or you just could find yourself like entrenching yourself in like maybe like knowledge, but it's something that you've done in like a fun way, like something that's like really creative or something like that you used to do. Maybe you were like, I like to use the example of like maybe you was like making music or writing music or something like that, and you kind of slipped away from it, and now it's coming back to you. Maybe there's a trip that you wanted to take because 9th house rules long distance travel. So maybe there's a trip that you wanted to take at one point in time. And then now you're like, I don't know. Should I take it? I don't know. Should I plan it? And so you might be on the behind the scenes planning out the voyage. I was about to say voyeur. Voyage to this next chapter and things like that. So, but I definitely see you heavily studying something that you probably left or didn't necessarily all the way leave, but you just put down for a little bit, so you could just find yourself picking something back up and like really getting into like heavy study on it. Now, Capricorn, this will be going on in your 8th house. So this has intimacy. I said it's talking to the inner child. Now, the 8th house is a Scorpio house. So this rules like death, sex, transformation, other people's money, taxes, things like that. I think that this would have a huge connect on the ways in which you see yourself. This might be a little bit hidden from people. There might be a part of this energy with Capricorn, just the Capricorn rising, and then this 8th house with Leo in there that might be a little bit hidden from a lot of people. I think vulnerability is going to be key during this transit. If there's anything that you've wanted to like say, if there's anything that you've wanted to express, you might find yourself going inward, but I would say maybe just talk to somebody that you can trust to talk through some specific things, because it just seems like, I don't know, and it has a deep sense of something that has to do with like intimacy issues around this area or something like that might needs to be looked at, you know, with a second eye and things for sure. So maybe talking to somebody that you can trust, or maybe writing, if you don't want to talk to anybody about it, just writing things out so you can actually see it and make peace with it. You could also find yourself, because like I said, it has to do with other people's money, so you could probably be making like some type of maybe you're in some type of business business endeavors with like a partnership or something like that behind the scenes, and you're just kind of reviewing what that's going to look like and things like that. So just take time and just make sure you look over the fine details with that. Now, Aquarius is 7th house. I put business, relationship, partnerships, and exes. A lot of exes gonna be coming back. That's all I'm gonna say about Aquarius with this 7th house energy here. You probably just will have people that, you know, you probably rocked with in the past, wanting to come back and say what's up, for real. This could be somebody that you maybe had a physical child with, like a physical child, or maybe they had a child and they wanted to come on, you know, maybe wanting to come back into the relationship, or maybe you had like a business, like a shared project with somebody in particular, and now they're like wanting to come back and maybe resolve something that has been broken off, things like that. Now, Pisces, 6th house, and last but never least, Pisces in the 6th house. This will be happening in your 6th house, so daily routines, health, job, spiritual practices, and then just making sure you stay focused. You probably will find yourself especially heavy on the spiritual practices, just taking time out the day, whether it's like 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, to like just connect with your people, connect with your ancestors and things like that. I feel like it's just gonna be a must for Pisces rising. There's probably just a lot of things that are trying to come in that you need to listen to and that you need to hear, but you need to take the time to just get quiet so you can actually tap in and hear those things. Okay, but I'm not gonna get too much deeper into it. The next video I'm gonna have for y'all is the Chiron and Aries. Like I said, please let me know if there's any topics or any videos or anything like that that y'all want me to like go over and y'all want me to talk about. Please let me know, and I will definitely try my best, like I said, to make some videos on it and things like that. But other than that, y'all already know what it is. It's a rainy storm checking in, checking out without a fucking doubt. I will see y'all soon. Happy Leo season. Deuces.